Hey, what's going on? Happy Sunday. Hope you all had a great weekend. I had a wonderful weekend. I spent some time at the Sleepy Hollow International Film Festival, had my short on, played with the thing and chopping mall. It was a great time. Really, really enjoyed myself. Those guys really put on a phenomenal show. If you're ever in Sleepy Hollow, make sure you check out the Sleepy Hollow International Film Festival in October. Gonna have the guys on the show at some point. Gonna do that because, well, yesterday the show was canceled because of weather, because it's like an outdoor drive-in thing. So I went home and decided that I was gonna go and log into Peacock or whatever, pay the $5, upgrade to premium, and check out the brand spanking new Halloween Kills sequel to the 2018 film Halloween. Confusingly the same title as the 1978 film Halloween. I mean, this is a franchise with some very, very complicated sort of history. You basically have, I think it's 3 or 4 or even 5. Is it 5? There's 5 different lineages, lines, timelines going on. Let's think about this for a minute. You got the original, which basically works through all this, technically kind of works through all the sequels, I guess. That's one way to look at it. Then, so you got Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6, and Halloween 4 through 6. That's its own trilogy of films. What's going on, Amy? Welcome to the show tonight. Talk about Halloween. So it's like, 4 through 6 is its own set of films. And then you got Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween H2O, and technically Halloween Resurrection. Considered to be truly the worst in the series, by the way, Halloween Resurrection. And then you have Rob Zombie's Halloweens, which is a completely separate timeline of its own. Halloween 1 and Halloween 2. And, I really like the Rob Zombie Halloweens. They're really hated. People hate these movies. I mean, just despise them. Oh, Amy, did I like Halloween Kills? We're going to get to that. We're on our way. We're on our way. Just sit back and relax. It's true, man. Ballad's right. You have Halloween the original, Halloween the remake, and then Halloween the reboot sequel. So then you have the third lineage, which basically erases all the previous ones, and it goes Halloween, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and soon Halloween Ends. Now, I just want to start off before I talk. By the way, this is part of my 31 Days of Halloween series. Make sure you check out all the others. I don't know why. No one likes to watch this series. They really hate it. Nobody clicks on these things. I don't know if it's YouTube's algorithm, but no, I get no traffic on these things. And I keep on doing it because I committed to doing it. I said I was going to do it. And so I'm going to finish it. I'm going to make sure I finish it. So this is actually movie number 16 in that series. I just figured I would make it a live thing because I have a lot to say. And, I figured it would be a great time to go live. It's a very timely topic, so that's why we're here. I'm just warning you, Mike Watson says he loves the 2018 Halloween and can't wait to see Kills. We're about to spoil the crap out of that movie. So if you have not seen Halloween Kills, do not watch this stream. Unless you don't mind spoilers, because we're about to spoil some ish right now, people. We're gonna go all out, pulling out all the stops. So as I said, you have all these different Halloweens. You have all these different Halloween timelines. I also think it's important to note that for me, Halloween is not a sacred cow to me. What's up, Chris? How are you? Halloween is not a sacred cow. I don't revere Halloween the way a lot of horror nerds, movie fans, fiends do. So, I'm very unbiased when it comes to this sort of stuff. For me, and I've said this many a time on the show, my Halloween is Scream. Sidney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell, my forever love. That's my Laurie Strode. You know what I'm saying? So while I still respect and appreciate Halloween and what it did for the genre and its important historical place, I am not I'm not beholden to it, betrothed to it. I don't have, fanboy eyes for it the way that I do for Scream. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about that. Um I'm sorry to hear that, Chris. I hope things improve. So so here's the thing. I, you know, for me, the best Halloween film, and I know this is so cliche to say, especially at this time because it's having its renaissance. For the last 10 years, Halloween 3 has been experiencing a glorious renaissance. For decades, people considered this to be the worst film in the franchise. It's not even, doesn't even have Michael Myers in it. But here's the thing, let me turn this on its head for you for 1 second. Let me turn this on its head. Imagine that we live in an alternate universe, right? Did you ever see Back to the Future Part 2? What happens in Back to the Future Part 2? They Marty's running through town, Hill Valley's town, and he sees a holographic trailer for Jaws 19. And we all go, hardy har har. Could you imagine if they made 19 Jaws films? We would all like be flummoxed by that. Why would we want 19 Jaws films? I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, look at how everybody treats Jaws the Revenge. People get mad when when a shark has a lion roar. It really, really pisses people off. You know what I'm saying? Um, I imagine that we are living in an alternate universe. In the regular universe, in the normal universe, we got two, maybe three films with Michael Myers. You had Halloween, you had Halloween 2, The Night Isn't Over, right? Michael Myers dies. Maybe he comes back for H2O, maybe not. And that's it. In the normal universe, they pick up with Halloween 3, and every year for 30 years, they've been doing the anthology thing like they intended to do. That's what they were supposed to do. That was the plan. And when Halloween 3 flopped, they went right back to Michael Myers. And we instead, in some surreal twist, we got like 19 sequels about something that, for me, and this is just me, I'm just talking for me here, because I know how many people love Halloween and respect it. And I want to approach it with that kind of respect because I understand that it's this beloved thing that, frankly, I get great enjoyment out of watching. I like the Halloween movies, I do, but it's not, like I said, it's not a sacred cow. Take it or leave. I could leave it as easily as I take it. To me, Halloween is a one note subject, right? Like, for instance, the fact that that Rob Zombie never got to make his third Halloween, that's okay. You know why? Because he said everything that he needed to say about Michael Myers and Michael Myers' story in those two Halloween films. Even John Carpenter, who never returned to the series proper, he said everything that he needed to say in those two Halloween films, Halloween and Halloween 2, The Night Isn't Over. It's kind of a one note subject. What is it? What is Halloween about? It's about the boogeyman, that the boogeyman is real and that he can come and he can get you. I'm about to sneeze. Ready? Excuse me. Oh, a lot of dust down here. So, it's a one note subject in that kind of way. There's evil incarnate lurks behind man's eyes. Oh, it's coming. Got another sneeze coming. It's coming. Can't talk. It's the worst. That's the worst feeling in the world. When you feel like you're about to sneeze, like your whole body seizes up. Anyway, this idea of evil incarnate, the shape. Michael Myers isn't even a person. He is a shape. Thank you, Amy. Thank you. Jorge says the 1988 Halloween movie, who was the shooter that broke Michael Myers out of jail? It's still a mystery. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. But like it just doesn't I don't think I don't think we need this many Michael Myers films. That's the honest to God truth. I just feel like you tell the story once or twice and move on. But we live in this alternate reality where we have gotten like 1,000 Michael Myers sequels. It's almost kind of like it's like borderline parody, you know. And you could hey Jeff, what about Jason? The same thing with Jason to an extent. But here's the thing about Jason that differs from Michael Myers. Jason has kind of evolved a little bit by bit by bit. You know what I mean? It hasn't just been it's when Friday the 13th started, it wasn't even Jason, it was his mother doing all the slaying, you know? And then Jason had a bag over his head, and then he got his hockey mask, and then he was undead, and then there was a copycat. They did a bunch of things. Michael Myers pretty much, I mean, yeah, like he becomes like the thing with the Sam Hain cult, and like, he's got some supernatural stuff going on. But like besides that, it's always just been one note, dude with the mask. And nothing wrong with simplicity. Simplicity is king too. But that's where I'm coming from when I talk about Halloween and Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. That's the place I'm coming from. I'm coming from it's a one note thing. Now, the flip side of that is I will defend the three Scream films till I'm blue in the face. But let's be realistic here. You only really need one Scream, too. I mean, you can't keep doing the Scream thing over and over again. Scream 4 is a ridiculous film. I'm super excited for Scream 5. I can't wait. I don't know where they're going to take it. But do we honestly need anything after Scream 3? No, we don't. No, Scream 3 is the perfect ending for Scream, you know? So that's the place. But you know what? Everything I just said doesn't matter. You know why? Because they're going to keep making movies. The movies are fun to watch, even no matter what kind of substance they have. They're super fun to watch, and we're going to keep watching them. I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to watch every one that they make. I'm not going to stop. But you know, I'm just kind. I kind of went into. Here's the truth. I went into 2018 with an open mind. It was like, where are they going to go with this? Everybody was super excited. The buzz was insane. We're getting this brand new Halloween film and Laurie Strode is back. Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode is back, and what's going to happen? And there was some very interesting stuff that goes on, but ultimately the direction that they take it doesn't work for me. It didn't work for me because to me, it's funny. I actually went back and I watched H2O for the first time in almost 20 years in 2018. Right, the first time. Yeah, definitely want to skip in on this. So avoid the spoilers. Definitely. Thanks for stopping by, though. I appreciate that. That's right. November 6th. November Furnace Fire, November 6th. That's right. Having a show in Lodi VFW. So like I rewatched Halloween H2O, and I really enjoyed the crap out of it. I thought this is kind of the ending that we always had the ending. We had the ending for 20 years. I don't see why we have to open this book back up. But what Blumhouse has decided to do is we're like, okay, we're just going to erase everything. The only thing that stands is the original film. So it's like a serial killer that murders 3 people, right? And that's it. And then all this stuff for something like that. Now, I don't want to turn human tragedy into numbers here, but in the realm of talking about a fictional horror film, the idea of the legend surrounding something that seems very small and contained. This thing that happened 40 years ago, three people were tragically murdered. It is tragedy, right? But the legend that sort of developed from only this one incident, it seems bigger than it might have really been. Especially in the way that we consume news today, where people don't even blink their eyes when there's a gun scenario, a gun incident, a shooting. People don't even blink their eyes anymore. It's so common. So to think of something like this in that way, like, and again, it's a movie. It's a, as Chris always says, don't judge a movie for what it is, judge a movie for what it's trying to be. To an extent that works here, and sometimes it doesn't. So the fact that Laurie Strode, for 40 years, Michael Myers has been locked up for 40 years, but Laurie Strode becomes a survival nut anyway. You know what I mean? Oh, I totally disagree with you. HBO is not horrible, and I don't know when the last time you watched it, but you should rewatch it, as it really holds up really well. If anything, it needs about 15 extra minutes of, I'd say it's really tight. It's like 84 minutes. Give it 15 more minutes of development before like the action kicks in. I mean, it's really, really lean, but it holds up really nice. I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed their face off. Which means that, and that's the problem, because they had already faced off 20 years prior, this didn't feel as epic as maybe it could have been because it had already happened. We're already desensitized to the notion, to this insane idea of Michael Myers, facing off against Laurie Strode one more time, you know? And in this scenario, Laurie Strode is a friggin' survivalist, man. She's like a crazy survivalist. Now she has a daughter and a granddaughter, and they're all grown up, and there's this whole family history, and I don't know. I could not connect to the story, but here was the one thing that I was kind of hoping for. I thought, oh, for sure, Jamie Lee Curtis is gonna die at the end of this movie. It's gonna be the end of the thing. Like, they're gonna be locked in that final battle again. And because remember, Jamie Lee Curtis has already died once. She died in Halloween Resurrection. You know what I'm saying? They already killed her off. And now here she is. She's back alive. It's a completely separate continuity. So it's kind of like, how many times can you really rehash this? But people love this mythology. They love Michael Myers. They love the mythology, and they love the idea of the shape. And so they go for it. And so, that 2018 movie ends in Laurie Strode's fiery house. She sets a trap for Michael, and it's the house goes up in flames. Laurie gets stabbed in the gut, and you're like, oh, okay, she is a goner, and she's not. They do surgery on her, and she's okay. And I keep thinking, we go into this movie and I'm going, oh man, they're going to face off again. And it never comes. It never comes in Halloween Kills. Here's the thing that Halloween Kills, this is what Halloween Kills has that, like, this is what's really going for Halloween Kills. That's what I'm trying to say. This is what it has going for it. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. I just really suck. Talking off the top of my head right now. It's a fun movie. Halloween Kills is fun. I had fun. I enjoyed watching it. It's got a super high body count, lots of, fun, interesting kills. In this way, it's like, killing is a sport, man. And he just goes through, he mows people down. And, I got to tell you, man, people were getting really upset that Michael Myers kills a bunch of firemen. And I was like, why? I was like, it's a movie, dude. Like, I mean, come on. Like, what, like, where does the line, where do we draw the line on controversy? What, because they're firemen, they can't be killed because of firemen die in real life? I mean, come on. So then why do we have serial killers in movies? I mean, you just can't, come on. Like, cut us a break. It's a crazy scene. Michael Myers, he comes out of the burning house and he friggin' goes up against like all these firemen, and it's a bloodbath, and Michael walks away, and he's just like, that's what people love about him. He's like this indestructible champion. People love Michael Myers because he's like their champion, that kind of thing. Amy, I hope so. You know what I hope they do? I hope that Halloween ends the Michael Myers story. And you know what I would love? I would love if they did what's it called? An anthology. If they just picked up the pace where they left off in 1982 and tried another crack at the anthology. Just make anthology movies. Wait 10 years and then you can bring back Michael again if you want. If you really, really want. But I mean, yeah, I loved seeing that scene. I thought it was really great. There's so many firefighters, and you're just wondering, like, oh my God, is he going to be able to do it? Here's the other thing that really is great about this movie. Michael Myers suffers from bad mask syndrome. There are a lot of bad Michael Myers masks. For those of you who don't know, a little trivia, Michael Myers' mask is a William Shatner Star Trek mask. It's a Captain Kirk mask that's been painted white. And so the face of Michael Myers is actually the face of William Shatner. And it's funny. I wonder if William Shatner ever got any royalties for that, or if he ever tried to sue them or something. You would think he'd be entitled to some sort of profits for them profiting off of his likeness. Who knows? Who knows how that works? I'm sure if he found the right lawyer, he can make that happen. So Michael Myers' mask looks, this is the best it's ever looked in any Halloween film. How many have we had now? How many sequels are there? Are we up to like 15, 12, 13? Best one. Better than anyone, bar none. Like, I salute. So there's my first positive accolade, venerating this mask, because it is great. It's slightly burnt and it just looks rugged. You could see it on the thumbnail. He just looks really rugged. He looks like he's been through the mill, and it just is so good. It's so good for this movie, and I'm looking at it right now, actually. It's just slightly charred, and there's just something about the mask that just is so unhinged. Normally people are like, how do you find Michael Myers terrifying? Just a dude in a white mask. But this mask is scary as hell. I mean, really, really, really scary. I think I haven't seen Rob Zombie's Halloween since it came out. I should really revisit, because like I said, I really enjoyed myself. But I remember that mask being pretty creepy as well. In any case, fireman scene's great. Laurie Strode's rushed to the hospital. They give her emergency surgery. And one part of me is like, how is she going to get up and fight? How is she going to get up and fight Michael? Because I keep expecting her to get up and fight Michael. And I'm sorry to say that this movie absolutely suffers from probably the greatest misuse of Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode in the entire series. So we go from having the best mask in the series to the greatest misuse. And here's the thing, and this is ultimately the truth. This is clearly, I guess this was always supposed to be a 3-part trilogy, right? Halloween, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. It's supposed to be it's a 3-part arc, right? A trilogy. So we truly can't pass all of our judgment until the 3rd part of the trilogy and we see how it ends, right? At least that's what I am going to do. So no matter how negative or critical I may be in certain aspects of this film and the first film, ultimately, I don't think I'm going to formulate a definitive opinion until that last movie comes out and I can see if there's anything that makes this more redeeming. Because like I said, even though it's a fun movie, I also felt like it was a bit pointless. Like it, but I mean, what sequel isn't pointless for the most part? What sequel, it's just us wanting to see the same thing happen again over and over and over again and trying to find an excuse to make that thing happen over and over and over again. In this one, it's like the film is driven by kills, Halloween Kills. It's driven by deaths. There seems to be no character arcs for anybody, really. I mean, truly, there's some great setups and there's some great concepts that they use in this film that ultimately feel like missed opportunities or just wasted or not properly executed. So the first one is having Laurie Strode in the film, having her throughout the entire runtime, but never having her leap into action, despite that. And here's the thing, the filmmakers can't win, because if she leaps into action, you call shenanigans because she got stabbed in the gut. Like she's out down for the count, and they stand by that. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you're making 3 final Halloween films. You got Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode 3 times. You're going to give us Laurie Strode like this the whole time? I mean, I just felt like it was she was misused. Don't even have her in the film then. I think it would have been better if Laurie Strode was not even in the film. Like, here's the thing. If Laurie Strode was as injured as she was in the back of that truck, then why not have her hanging by a thread the entire film? So she's in the movie, but she's unconscious. and and Michael Myers is trying to get to her or something, and the daughter sacrifices her life for her mom or something. I don't know. Something happens. There's some sort of sacrifice, and that causes Laurie to wake up for the final confrontation. The final confrontation. What's going on, crazy white boy? We're talking about Halloween Kills. So if you haven't seen Halloween Kills, make sure that you click off this. And if you are enjoying this stream, please make sure to like, share, and most of all, subscribe to this channel. Leave that like so it boosts us up in the algorithm, yada, 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 XYZ, 1, 2, 3. So, why not have her just unconscious? Like that to me would have been more interesting than say, have her talking to this cop. And what's funny? I should have rewatched Halloween 2018 and I hate that, by the way. I hate that I have to say Halloween 2018 because they chose to use the same name. They're doing it with Scream 2. This annoys the crap out of me. Call it Halloween Reborn. Call it Halloween. Give us something that doesn't. I don't want to call it Halloween 18. I don't want to call it Halloween 78. I want to call the original Halloween, and I want to call this one and it doesn't help the fact that the remake is called Halloween 2. So it just you literally, as Ballad of the Broken says, you have 3 different Halloweens. It just kind of I find it frustrating. That frustrates me too. So like. If Laurie Strode gets almost taken out, and is down for the count in Halloween Kills, then me as an audience, like, what's going to happen? How, it kind of like drives the story a little bit more, kind of gives, ups the stakes, even though we know that she will probably make it to Halloween Ends. Let us think that it may not happen. That Michael Myers gets to that hospital and just cuts through everybody trying to get to Laurie, like just pushing through Laurie. But here's the thing. Here's another thing too. The fact that they took that they made Laurie Strode and Michael Myers no longer related anymore, it takes away from why Michael Myers does what he does a little bit. That's what adding that plot detail did for Michael Myers in that story. It sort of gave him a sense of purpose and urgency. And now I guess he just operates in complete chaos. He's just literally out there just to kill. And that's it. And that's what happens in this movie. Michael Myers just walks around aimlessly killing people. And there's no rhyme or reason to anything. And that's probably my biggest criticism of this film, right? Like there's just no rhyme or reason. The other thing that they do, which I thought was really great, love this part. First of all, we get a cameo by Donald Pleasance, and that's really fun too. Donald Pleasance comes back from the grave, and because they sort of do this little setup. They show some backstory for this cop who's laid up and had a crush on Laurie Strode or whatever, and I thought that it was very forgettable. That's what I was saying. I should have rewatched Halloween 18 before I watched this, and I didn't because I kind of forgot some things. I forgot that this cop was in the movie, and they give us a little backstory about him, and his partner was what's his name, Cummings from just in the Wolf and Snow Hollow. He wrote and directed this movie. Jim Cummings is his name. Great actor too. Always typecast as cop. Plays cops and whatnot. They give him some backstory, this sheriff guy or whatever, and I'm just kind of like, it also ultimately doesn't go anywhere. He just says, I have to be the one that kills Michael Myers. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, so are we going to see that happen? And it never comes. It doesn't come at all. Obviously, everything's being set up for this third film, but what really is happening is I feel like we're getting 3 films when really maybe all we needed was 2. Halloween, you could have called the first one Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, and that's it. You know what I mean? We didn't need 3 films. It's almost like they're trying to pull it into a trilogy when it was unnecessary. And this middle one is just filler in the sense of, oh, we're just going to kill a bunch of people. Now, here's one thing that I really, really loved about Halloween Kills. I love Tommy Doyle coming back. Tommy Doyle's the little boy in the original Halloween. Comes back. He's played by Anthony Michael Hall. I love this. I love this idea. That's fun. I think he was played by Paul Rudd too in The Curse of Michael Myers. That is a lot of fun bringing him back, and the way that they sort of frame him, they set him up. He's at a like a karaoke type thing, I guess, Halloween party, and this is a tradition that they've done every year for 40 years, where they sort of just get really drunk in this bar, and he gets up and he tells the ghost story that was his actual past, and that's ultimately, I guess, that's what makes it so popular. It's that it's a ghost story. It's a local ghost story where three people were murdered. So in that way, it is kind of epic. I take back what I said. And yes, Amy, they're not siblings. I don't know what Michael Myers' sole purpose. They took away his sole purpose of murdering his other sister. Like that's why I was confused personally. I'm just kind of going like, why? Then what is he up? Like, what is his urgency? Why does he do what he does? He's just out there to just slice and dice. Okay, fine, I guess. But what happens is hold on, let me get back to Tommy Doyle. And we'll get on that in a second. In a second. Tommy Doyle has this whole thing. He stands up and he tells the ghost story that was his youth about, Michael Myers, Slade, this person, and all the people came back from the original film. The nurse is back. The little girl whose babysitter was murdered, I thought that was really great. I like that they brought the original, like, crew back, minus the actual kid who played Tommy Doyle. They had Anthony Michael Hall, which is good to have Anthony Michael Hall in place of that guy. And it really felt you could really feel like the locality of Haddonfield in this place. I kind of think that it would have been better if it was more of like a Halloween party. And here's another missed opportunity. It's Halloween night. Like, put everybody in a costume. People just like casually dressed. It's like, dude, if it's on Halloween night, then go crazy. Throw in every Easter egg. And they do a great Easter egg. And I wonder if it was Ryan Turek or somebody who, Ryan Turek he's a co-producer, and I love listening to that dude on Shockwave's podcast. RIP, doesn't exist anymore. But Ryan, I'm sure that it was Ryan's idea to have the trick-or-treaters wearing the Halloween 3 masks. You have the skull, the witch, and the pumpkin, and there are these 3 trick-or-treaters that wear those masks. And I loved seeing that nod, that little Easter egg in there. I thought that was a really, really nice touch. And I was like, I wanted more of that for the town, because the townspeople become like a main character that, like, they're after Michael Myers, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So they're in this bar doing this whole thing. And it's like, instead of a bar, why not give us like a full-fledged Halloween party? Like, give us some sort of like Halloween celebration that occurs, something that unseen, because it takes place on the same night as Halloween 2018. So no time has passed. This film literally picks up where the last one left off, with the burning house. So, an unseen aspect. I sound like an a-hole. I'm just rewriting the story. Monday morning quarterback, hindsight 2020, armchair writing story. That's what I'm doing right now. Honestly, let's be real. But like, I'm just calling it how I would want to see it. I'm allowed to do that. This is the internet. Isn't that what this is for? So, like, why not have them? Why not showing us that there's like this whole Michael Myers remembrance, or like victim remembrance of the thing, where everybody's sort of somberly has this party on Halloween where everybody's even more dressed up than they are. There's some people in costume, but everybody's sort of plainly dressed. And I just felt like that was a real lost opportunity. That's not to say that, you have the gay couple, the Gabers, played by the brilliant, what's his name? From Mad TV. Phenomenal dude. Michael something. His name's Michael. Oh my God, he played Stuart. Stop! Michael McDonald. That's his name. Michael McDonald is dressed like a pirate, which is great. That's what I mean. Like, more stuff like that. So we got a little bit of it. Let's see some of these comments. Halloween 5 ending scene. This is from Jorge. Is still a mystery. Who was the shooter who had shootout in the police precinct and broke Michael Myers out of jail. I don't know, man. I guess it was the cult of Thorn, maybe. Amy says, all I know is that he's running on pure animal instinct, pure primal predator. Fine, yes, agreed. But I don't know. I don't know. Oh, he's in Ghostbusters. That's cool. I don't know. I think that for sure. I think that for sure we needed just a little bit more than just being a pure animal predator. It just, especially, maybe it's because we've been exposed to so much of this mythology that we had a different expectation for what that could and should have been, and that's why that bothered me. But in any case, I would have liked to have seen more of that for a framing device. But then there's this really cool idea, and the really cool idea is that Tommy Doyle leads these vigilante militias to basically evil dies tonight. We're gonna kill Michael Myers. I love it. I love it. Except that it feels like the solution to the whole series, and then that should have happened in the final film. So I feel like Halloween is sort of suffering from what Star Wars suffered from, where they're like sort of wrapping things up in the middle one instead of the final one. I don't know where they're going to go when Halloween ends, but I kind of feel like that was what kind of Halloween ends could have been about. Having the townspeople, and you have Lady with the iron. I don't know if anybody saw that, the ironing thing. There's like a Facebook group dedicated to this woman who's going to attack Michael Myers with an ironing, an iron for like ironing clothes and stuff, which is awesome. But he's got a bat. What's his face? He's got a bat called Old Huckleberry, Tommy Doyle. And they all go after Michael Myers, and that's how the movie ends. They gather around him and beat the crap out of him. And it just, and then Michael Myers kills everybody. It just sort of, let me go to some of my notes here before we continue. I'm sort of going all over the place. I said, great burnt mask, best one he's ever looked, the best he's ever looked. I would have liked to have seen a band of costume people fight. Yeah, right. I wanted to see costume people fighting. I did notice that, and maybe it was something from the first film. Laurie's daughter is wearing an Xmas sweater. She's wearing a Christmas sweater on Halloween night, and maybe that was a joke that I just totally forgot about. Oh, interesting. Amy says that Halloween Ends is going to take place 4 years later. Huh. I did not know that. I did not know that. But yeah, it's weird that Laurie's daughter's wearing a holiday Christmas sweater. I will say, Tommy Doyle comes to Laurie's bed in the hospital, and they have this conversation that feels like fan fiction, like pure fan fiction. It feels so like ham-fisted to me. Could not suspend my disbelief at all. I did like the line where he says, Laurie, you protected me all those years ago. Now I'm going to protect you. And that would be the last time that she sees him alive, because they kill Tommy Doyle. Michael Myers kills Tommy Doyle at the end. So then they're neighbors, Michael McDonald and this other guy. So they play Big John and Little John, which I thought was so cute. I love that. They live in the Myers house, right? And they've remodeled it. It looks much nice. It's really nice because it always feels like it's like a very depressing house. Even in the first Halloween film, when Michael Myers kills Judith Myers, it still feels like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel. It feels like a really sort of depressing kind of house, and they dress it up really, really nice. And what's really funny about Big John and Little John is that Little John carries a big knife and Big John carries a little knife, and it's really funny and great. And that's the thing too. And I read this article, like, about the kills and stuff, and like the characters they introduce. They introduce all these characters, and they give us like little backstories or like little bits of character development that, make us sort of attach to them, and then just senselessly, brutally murder them. And it just kind of feels all for naught. I mean, one would argue, oh, well, they're trying to make the characters feel more three-dimensional. But in a movie with such a high body count, and it's Michael Myers, I don't know. It just doesn't really work because we know that none of these people are the main characters. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad nitpick. They kind of did that in the first one too. I think it was the babysitter who gets murdered in the house with the little kid, little black kid. Am I remembering that wrong? But she felt like I was surprised that she got taken out. Um, why did the inmate kill himself? I didn't understand this. He jumps off the building. I did not understand why. That's what I'm saying. There were so many characters. The only motivation that felt like a true character motivation, like a true arc, was Tommy Doyle and the townspeople hunting Michael Myers because they wanted it to end tonight. Everything else, Laurie Strode was aimless. The daughter seemed kind of aimless. She has a whole thing with the granddaughter about, oh, you shouldn't go out there and be part of the vigilante. Oh, maybe you should be a part of the vigilante squad. It just seemed very aimless. There just didn't seem, it was just all about kills, like the title said. So if you went into the movie just being like, this is going to be just like a fun Halloween kill movie, you're going to have a great time. If you're expecting more like from like some sort of arc, you're not going to have a great time, you know? And the movie ends with the like I said, the militia, the vigilantes, the angry mob, if you will, confront the monster. And I love there's a scene where they're in the Myers house, the old Myers house, and there's a confrontation. Some people, this guy Lonnie dies, his son dies, Laurie's daughter is there, and Laurie's granddaughter is there. And there's a scene where I think it's Laurie's daughter pulls the mask off of Michael, and you kind of see him out of focus, and it's really good. I really like this. I loved Michael's demeanor throughout this whole thing. He's just like, there's like nothing, there really is. There's just nothing there. There's nothing behind him. And I guess on that level, that's literally what the filmmaker's trying to tell us. It's just about a dude who's not there at all, trying to take as many people down as he possibly can. And that's it. And that's it. It's literally that simple. And perhaps I'm just overcomplicating it. I'm just making it too complicated in my own head. But they have a great scene at the end where, everybody it's like Pennywise and it. Everybody gangs up. There's like kind of trying to like overcome their fear of fear itself. Just like with Pennywise and taking him on. But then here's the thing. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, in the last minutes of the movie, after Laurie has just been wandering around the hospital or whatever with this cop, they've been in the room together. Like they keep cutting us back. They keep cutting back to Laurie to be like, hey, look, Laurie Strode is in this movie, but she's not doing anything. They have this whole conversation, or there's this conversation about how they suddenly realize that he, with every kill, he gets stronger. That with every blade to Michael, he gets stronger with every, and darker and yada, yada, yada. And that he transcends mortality. And I just kind of rolled my eyes because I was just kind of like, what's the point? Why are you doing it like this? Why not keep it? You're just retreading what's already been done. And why? What's the point? I don't know. I don't know. I hope Halloween Ends answers that question for me. But basically, when Michael Myers should have been down and out and dead, they give him a supernatural reason for keeping on living. And Amy is literally right when she says this. You can't take down the boogeyman with brute force. They try to, and it makes him stronger. And then he kills everybody. And so suddenly Tommy Doyle is wasted. Everybody gets wasted in this thing. And shockingly, Laurie's daughter goes back in the house and Michael Myers is magically there again and she gets wasted too. Everybody gets wasted. Now, here's the thing. I'm okay. I thought it would have been a good idea to have Laurie's daughter die. I think that works for the story. If there's some sort of sacrifice. She's Karen Nelson, played by Judy Greer. That's Laurie's daughter. If you give us some sort of Empire Strikes Back like action where like I said, Laurie's asleep the whole time. It's touch and go. You have the cop who's at her bedside manner, and he's got his bandaged up neck, and he's trying to tell Laurie, you got to pull through because we got to take out Michael Myers. And then when Laurie's daughter dies, she wakes up, and then they together in Halloween Ends, they're going to go after Michael Myers. Why not? Instead of making the third film 4 years afterwards, why not make them all in the same night? Why not? You know, I don't know. I don't know. Um, it just, I was, I just was like, like I said, I just thought that I don't know. I really need to see where things land in order to fully appraise everything. Let's see. Ben has a good point here. I feel you have to make it subtly supernatural, but doing it right is the rub. Yeah, I agree. I'm not okay. I mean, I'm okay with it being supernatural, but it felt like, oh, it's actually supernatural, which is how we get to the third movie, because really this story, which could have been one movie that we're stretching to two movies, we're actually making three movies because we want to do a trilogy and we're making this the middle movie. As Ben says, otherwise the guy should have died early on. I mean, he gets shot and stabbed and run through with a pitchfork and burned and all this stuff. And you have all the townspeople in the thing. It just felt like there just seemed like a lot of filler. In fact, maybe even you could have condensed this movie so much that you literally could have tacked on a half hour to the first Halloween 2018, had everything that happens in this movie tacked on as an extra half hour, and then have like a 2 hour and 15-minute Halloween film, and then have Halloween Ends. But they just pulled it out. They wanted to show Michael just racking up the bodies, and I believe this is the highest body count. I mean, that you want that too in a Halloween movie. You coming there for the body count, and they do. The Blumhouse delivers on that. I was even though I had a lot of problems with the story, and I was very upset that Tommy Doyle is murdered at the end, because, like I said, I feel like bringing him in was a really great move, and they squandered it all in this movie. Push it. Don't apologize for the tangent, Ben. That's quite all right. And I do like House of the Devil, but I'm not going to go on a tangent about it because I'm keeping it about Halloween Kills Tonight. But I will say, House of the Devil, fantastic film. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Tom Noonan's great in it. I just feel like why set up Tommy Doyle and then take him out so soon? They did the same thing with Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face in The Dark Knight. Like, I legitimately thought, like, why not set up all the Two-Face stuff for the next film? Why not set up all this Tommy Doyle stuff? You could have this whole thing running with Tommy Doyle and his vigilante mob going after Michael Myers. Then you have Laurie in a coma or something, and we're hoping that she's going to pull through from the knife in her gut. And you have that same cop. You could have the same backstory. He's holding this thing, but he's at her bedside and confessing that he loved her and whatever, and that only they together can stop Michael Myers. And then have Laurie's daughter. You could have the whole thing with Laurie's daughter chasing after her daughter, Laurie's granddaughter, who's joined the violent mob and gets in between her daughter and Michael Myers and sacrifices herself to save the granddaughter, which is kind of like what happens in the film. And that causes Laurie Strode a million miles away in the hospital to wake up out of bed and be like, all right, Michael, now it's time for Halloween to end. You know what I mean? Jorge says, Halloween 2, Michael should have died for good because he was burned alive in the hospital after the explosion. He did die for good. It was supposed to be him and Dr. Loomis taking themselves out. And then we were supposed to get an anthology series that would take us year after year after year with a new story. And then what happened was the reception for Season of the Witch was not good, and they said, let's go back to Michael Myers. And that's why Halloween 4 is the return of Michael Myers, because of money. And it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame, truly. Um, Amy says the townies didn't think it through. They underestimated him. He's a supernatural force of nature. Yeah, yes, and the movie. That's what the movie ultimately wanted us to realize by the end of it, and that's fine. Again, part of my problem is that I'm overthinking something that's just super simple. They have stripped the character of Michael Myers down to just being the shape that stalks and slices and dices with no rhyme or reason. And that is it. Because he has no urgency in this film. And he's just trying to take as many people down as he can. And then and then Laurie Strode, like, I'm going in circles now. I'm really going in circles. It's probably time to end this stream. What's going to happen? I don't know. I literally have no idea where they're going to take this in Halloween Ends. I don't know. Am I going to watch it? Of course I'm going to watch it. Will I pay money to see it? Of course I'll pay money to see it. I just don't know where they're going to go. And this idea felt really half-baked, and it felt like there were so many missed opportunities for interesting things. Keep Tommy Doyle alive. Increase the stakes with Laurie. Because I honestly thought, like I said, I thought Laurie was going to be dead after the first movie. I thought they were going to die in that fiery fire. That would have worked for me better. And the ultimate thing, the thing that I loved more than anything was in Halloween H2O, I think is so great. She has, we really see her PTSD in Halloween, just that one scene of her drinking wine, and confronting her son, because she's a son in that one, I thought that would have been, that was the way that they did that with her post-traumatic stress disorder, and what I would have loved, and confessing to her lover that who she really is, and that she changed her name, all this stuff. Like, I really thought that was great. I thought that was so great, and I just wanted to see. I just feel like that was the ultimate confrontation. So like, what are you going to give me now? I don't know. Ben says, what about a From Hell style, early colonial secret society stuff that bleeds into a rural vulgarization of the occult happenings that taint the land, but with no clear connections? Is that supposed to be in reference to Halloween and Michael Myers, like the Cult of Thorn or something? Listen, ultimately, these are the random musings of a horror nerd on the internet, talking about what coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't, and whatever, dude, whatever. They did their thing. It's a very polarizing film. Some people love it, some people will hate it. I just figured I would do this live stream instead of another video review, because I don't know what it is, man. People, like, they don't pop up in people's streams. The 31 days of Halloween, like, it just doesn't pop up. Trying to think of anything else that was in the film. I mean, that's really it. Like, there's the film is just it's just a lot of killing, and Laurie in the hospital, and Tommy Doyle, and and they waste the nurse and the girl from the first film, and I'm just kind of like, okay, I guess, fine, but like, you went to all this trouble to bring these characters back only to murder them on Halloween night 40 years later. I don't know. I don't know. Cult of Thorn is the thing from the sixth film, and is basically the culmination of Halloween 4, 5, and 6. I don't know what I'm going to watch for my... Oh, thank you, Ben. Ben enjoyed the show. And, I just want to put it out there. I'm a filmmaker, too. I don't want to be too critical of Blumhouse and these guys. I love Blumhouse, and I love what they do. I really do. I really, really do. As I said, I'm kind of like, I have no sacred... This is not a sacred cow. I have no horse in this race. You know, um, I don't want to just drag it down. That there was a lot of stuff that I liked. But there's also a lot of missed opportunity. That's ultimately what I chalked this whole video up to. There was a lot of missed opportunity, and you're hearing me gripe about it live on the internet. That's what it is. Um, what do we got coming up this week? We have another episode of Sinful Celluloid happening. We've got the Streaming Evil live show going on Tuesday, I think, not Wednesday, because Wednesday, your boy. Okay, so I'm doing a guest, guys. I'm going to be on a channel called Sea of Tranquility. They have asked me to come on because they want me to. I'm like they want to talk with me about the Misfits and stuff. They're doing a Misfits episode, and I'm being tapped. I'm being brought in to talk about the band that we love to talk about so much. So check that out. That's on Wednesday. The Sea of Tranquility. I think it's going to be at 9 o'clock. Ben, you should absolutely see A Dark Song. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was an excellent, excellent, excellent film. I don't know where it's streaming right now. I think I watched it on Netflix. Really great film. Very like simple film. Very, contained film, but really great. Really enjoyed it. I saw it tonight. I took my son to the drive-in at the Sleepy Hollow International Film Festival. We watched The Monster Squad. 6-year-old boy seeing The Monster Squad for the first time. He enjoyed it, and that's going to be my next review. Please watch my other reviews. If you enjoyed this conversation, there's like 15 other ones just like it, except they're anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes long. And just talking about like basically like movie review type stuff. So go check out 31 Days of Halloween. Exactly. Oh, when that line came up, I thought there's a lot of colorful language that I had to turn to my son and be like, that's wrong. Don't say that. Now, you know what the biggest thing was? Just calling the kid fat kid. I was like, I turned to my son. I was like, holy crap. Call him fat kid. This is kind of fucked. I was like, you don't call kids fat kids. It's really mean. You can't do that. Not that he would, but like just to that he understand this is like the nuance of 80s dialogue, written by Shane Black and Fred Decker, you know. Um, will the Misfits have a special Halloween candy this year, like the Misfits Kit Kat bar last year? Jorge, I have no idea. Oh, we will be. Hey guys, we will be for sure doing Night of Living Dead live stream here. I'm doing a live commentary Night of Living Dead, so make sure to check that out. What's going on, Ryan? Thank you for joining us. What's a show on Netflix is going on? I don't know. Everybody's saying that Midnight Mass is good. Maybe you could check that out. Yeah. I think I'm all talked out, you guys. So make sure we're 2 minutes away from 60 minutes. What movie should I watch when I'm about to get into bed? Get ready for, wind down. I always wind down with a movie at night. Maybe I'll watch Ghoulies 2. Everybody's telling me I should watch Ghoulies 2. I saw the first Ghoulies. That was my other film for 31 Days of Halloween, and it is batshit bananas. Bananas! But like, I don't know. Yeah, they did not have that. Our 80s horror had no filters for real, and I would be horrified if a bunch of kids called one kid fat kid. That's not cool. That's not me trying to be like some social justice warrior or nothing. It's just not cool, dude. It's just not nice. Kids are so impressionable. I just imagine my son being like, "Hey, fat kid," getting a call from his school. Gotta explain. That's the thing people don't realize. You gotta explain context to children. You know, I told my son, when he hears me curse on occasion, I say, look, what I just said was wrong. And the reason why I said it is because I'm an adult. You're not an adult yet. And when you are an adult, you're allowed to say everything that I am saying now but you'll be allowed to say it because you'll have the context. You'll know that it's okay to say these things when it's okay. Because you're still young, you don't know when it's okay to say them and when it's not okay to say them. You know what I mean? Social justice warriors are what assholes call kind people. I'm trying to wrap my mind around that. Um, yeah. 80s films in general have no problems with what's on now. Seem edgy dialogue now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Oh my God, House. House and House 2 are on Shutter. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. That might be good. Guys, remember, thank you so much for joining me on such last minute notice. Please make sure to like, share, and most of all, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. Oh, one final thing. Sam Hain November Coming Fire listening series. It's the final in our Sam Hain series. It's here. You can watch it on Patreon right now, or you can watch it on as a YouTube casualty. You can join the membership down below. It'll be out on November 1st for everybody else. And also, another membership thing and Patreon thing, Monster Mash Serial Review, which is exclusive until Halloween. So make sure you check that out. As we always say here, peace.